Let's try a thought experiment. What if we judged leaders not on their politics or their morals, but just on pure biology? We're going to explore two very different paths to power to see which one is actually the most selfishly rewarding. And the answer, well, it's hardwired right into our brains.
Yeah, it's a pretty wild idea, right? Let's just, for a moment, forget about what's right or wrong. Let's ask a purely selfish question. What style of leadership actually gives the leader the best, the most pleasurable, and the longest life? The answer to that is literally coded into our biology.
So, to really get into this, let's frame it as a story, a tale of two politicians. They both want power, but the paths they take lead to two completely different fates for their own bodies.
All right, let's meet our two characters. Over here on the left, we have Politician P. This is our tyrant. His whole game is fear, control, restriction. Then on the right, you've got Politician W, the wise leader. His approach? Creating security and prosperity. Now, they both want the same thing, power, but the biological price they're going to pay couldn't be more different.
So first up, the tyrant. From the outside, this guy looks powerful, right? He seems to have it all. But what's happening inside his own body? Well, that's a totally different story. There's a hidden biological cost, and it's adding up day after day.
Think about the tyrant's brain for a second. It's like an engine that's always redlining. It never, ever gets to rest. It's constantly scanning for threats, looking for betrayal, putting out fires. This isn't calm, cool authority. It's a state of perpetual, high-alert anxiety.
And that constant mental strain, it kicks off this devastating chain reaction in the body. First, his system is just flooded with the stress hormone cortisol. We're talking toxic, sustained levels. That completely wrecks his digestive system. Then, it shatters his ability to get deep, restorative sleep. But here's the absolute cruelest part. His brain's pleasure centers get so fried that he literally loses the ability to enjoy anything. The food, the wealth, even the victory. It all just turns to ash.
The ultimate irony for the tyrant is that he's so busy building prisons for other people, he doesn't realize he's trapped himself in the most inescapable one of all, his own biology. He might have all the power in the world, but internally, he's living in a state of constant grinding torture.
Okay, so that's the tyrant. Now let's flip the coin and look at the wise leader, Politician W. His strategy is completely different, and because of that, so are the biological results. And remember, this isn't about him being some great altruistic guy. It's about him choosing a smarter path to maximize his own personal well-being.
You see, Politician W's whole playbook is engineered for one simple goal: to allow his own brain to relax. By minimizing fear, creating real prosperity, and building trust, he dramatically reduces the number of threats his brain has to track. The people are content, which means his brain can be content. He's not constantly managing a crisis, he's stewarding a stable system, and his cognitive load just plummets.
And the biological payoff? Oh, it's profound. Instead of being jacked up on cortisol, his system is dominated by a state of calm. His pleasure chemicals, like dopamine and serotonin, work the way they're supposed to, making success actually feel good. He sleeps deeply, letting his body and brain repair. The result is pretty simple: a longer, healthier, and genuinely happier life.
So while the tyrant is stuck in his invisible prison, the wise leader discovers this hidden palace. He understands the true wealth, true luxury isn't stuff. It's an internal state of peace. It's a nervous system that isn't at war with itself, which lets him actually enjoy the world, something the stressed-out tyrant can never, ever do.
And this really gets to the heart of it all. You can't cheat neurobiology. Your brain doesn't care about your politics or your ideology. It's running on these ancient circuits, on software that's millions of years old, and it's way more powerful than any modern idea.
So let's just strip away all the politics for a second and just do the biological math. If you're a leader who is truly focused on your own self-interest, the calculation becomes crystal clear.
And really, the math is incredibly simple. You choose oppressive rule, you create a state of chronic threat for yourself. The biological result is a body dominated by stress, and your ability to feel pleasure just tanks. But if you choose fair rule, you create a sense of safety for yourself. This lets your body enter a calm parasympathetic state, and the result is the maximum capacity for pleasure. It is a direct trade-off.
And let me be absolutely clear here. This is not an argument for being a good person. This is an argument from pure, cold, biological self-interest. If a leader's number one goal is to maximize their own enjoyment of life, biology offers a very, very clear and non-negotiable path. But this raises a huge question, doesn't it?
Why is our biology wired this way? Why would the most selfish path also happen to be the one that benefits everyone else? Well, the answer is buried deep, deep in our evolutionary past.
You have to remember, our nervous systems evolved in these small, interdependent tribes. Our brains basically developed a simple reward system. Hey, if you help the tribe survive, I'll reward you with feelings of safety and pleasure. And our brains are still running that ancient software today, constantly asking these three basic questions in the background.
And that brings us to the ultimate beautiful irony of it all. The tyrant, who thinks he's being so incredibly selfish, is actually choosing a path of biological self-destruction. The wise leader, on the other hand, by creating a society where people flourish, gets a yes to all of his brain's ancient questions. And in doing so, he unlocks the greatest possible biological rewards for himself. The most selfish choice is to be a good steward.
So for any leader, at any level, the biological choice is clear. You can rule through force and live in a prison you built for yourself. Or you can rule in a way that allows your own nervous system to thrive. Because in the end, your brain is keeping score, and it's the one thing you can never, ever deceive.